Darren, a hard-fought 1-0 win for shutout of the year. Impressive performance from the two young guys in the back, or younger guys, I should say. But talk a little bit about everybody's performance tonight, performance from the team as a whole, and the defensive performance.
I'm really happy and proud of my staff. They worked very hard to get ready for this game. I thought tactically we had a game plan that was correct for the game, a little bit different than the things that we have been doing. So Omaha is the team that's been the best in our league for the last couple of years. So to get a win for the first time since 22 was good for us. I thought James, Snedden, and Griffin had great games. And I thought our veterans showed up and played today. The guys that came in the game really changed it. Emiliano crossed a great ball, good assist to Darwin. So we're happy with that.
Emmy coming in, James Vaughn through the full 90. Talk a little bit about what you saw from the two of them in particular.
Yeah, Vonnie's had a really good couple of weeks. He deserved to start, and I thought he was a warrior tonight. You know, he was cramping up at the end, so we pushed him up front because we thought he'd be able to stand up there, and he ended up having to chase guys down. But I'm really proud of him, and the good part is it gives us another guy in the midfield, so it's competition for spots.
And Sen records the first shutout. It's 2 years in a row. He records the first on the season. Talk about that a little bit and what you'd like to see from him on Saturday.
We have a great goalkeeper coach. We have two very good pro goalkeepers here. They compete every day. You know, James comes every day. He's growing as a young goalkeeper, and he made some very good saves tonight, kept us in the game, and we need him to do that. That's the special part about him. He'll make the save you need him to make, and tonight he did that, and that's the expectation.
Quick turnaround headed into Saturday. How do you prep in that sort of window?
Yeah, League One is a very interesting league, right? Like how we're playing on a Wednesday when both of us were off Saturday doesn't make any sense, but it is what it is. And now we'll figure out, put our Band-Aids on, and fly to Florida.
All right, Darren, let's talk about it. Josh Kirkland, I was about to call him Kirkland. Josh Kirkland, number 9, up front, started the game. Can you just talk about this hold-up play? There was moments in the game where he had both Union Omaha center backs on him at various moments, holding up the ball and winning the balls and aerial duels and things of that nature.
Yeah, and you have a guy, Coleman, who played years in MLS. And Josh looked very comfortable and held the ball up well. It's by design. You know, we started him to bring Emmy on to win the game, and it came to plan, right? Josh has grown. You know, we don't just take youth players and help develop them and grow them. We take guys that have come out of college, and you know, Josh has worked his tail off the last couple of years, and it's really showing.
Tactically, you did some really interesting things tonight, such as moving Maxi into midfield possession and also having Griffin as an auxiliary right back at times. Can you just talk about how that flexibility in the defensive line helps your team move and progress the ball up the field?
Yeah, the modern game with formations is really an interesting thing, right? You have to adapt. They do a good job playing in a 5-back that morphs into a 3-2-5, so we had to deal with that. I thought the kids did great. I thought Guy and Griffin's communication was really good. James Snedden's communication was really good, and Dakota's a really good veteran in there.
Yeah. Speaking about Guy, the last time we saw him, he had a rough night in the U.S. Open Cup game. Can you just talk about his improvement and what did you like out of him tonight, out of the strong performance he had in the back line?
I'm an old man, but I'm not that far away from playing soccer. And whenever I look at players, I always want to choose players that I didn't want to play against. I'm going to guarantee nobody wanted to play against Guy tonight. He's a force, and he was a warrior. I'm really proud of him, and the future's bright with him.
Chandler Dwyer, amongst a couple other players, seems to get a little dinged up tonight in the physical game. Are there any concerns for Saturday?
A little bit. What's more frustrating is that the officials allow every time we play a ball, guys are going through the back of us. When you do that, you tell players that it's okay to keep doing that, right? So then it started to go both directions, and you got a bunch of people dinged up. Concerned? Yeah, we'll check on them. But the beauty is James Vaughn, I think it was his first start tonight, stepped right up, and we have other guys to do it. So if Chandler can't go, we have guys that can do it for us.
And you mentioned last week keeping teams beneath multiple goals a game. First clean sheet tonight. How do you plan to keep that momentum going to first place in
Yeah, James Snedden's got to keep doing what he's doing. He's done a great job, but the group's got to keep defending. We still got to do better. They had some chances tonight that we had to bail ourselves out of, and if we can keep clean sheets, we're going to win games. And I don't think teams are going to keep us off the scorecard.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
James, 1-0 win tonight, first clean sheet of the season. Talk a little bit about tonight from your perspective.
Yeah, I think it was a really gritty performance from the boys. We knew going into it that we were going to have to really dig in and fight for the whole 90 minutes, or I guess 100 minutes. So yeah, I'm really proud of how the team responded to the challenges and stood up and were able to nick the goal at the end. So really happy.
You saw, your back line serving in every way that they could. Talk a little bit about the communication from you and what you saw in the communication between them that let them have that flexibility.
Yeah, it's really important that we all are on the same page and are all constantly talking and um, trying to sniff out the danger however we can. If it's with our voice, then perfect, and then we'll all be on the same page a little more. So I think, yeah, we did a really good job of preventing the chances before they could even form. So yeah.
Um, and then just talking a little bit about focusing on Saturday and trying to pivot to that quick turnaround. What's that mindset like for you, and how do you help the whole squad get there?
Yeah, obviously it's a quick turnaround, and um, that's tougher for a lot of the other players than it is for me because they ran 8 miles and I'm just standing there. So I'm gonna try to help the boys however I can, and yeah, it'll be obviously it's a challenge that we have, but I think it's a challenge that we'll be up for.
All right, let's take us to the second half. You started off the second half with making an amazing save, ended the game with an amazing save. For you, as being such a young keeper, when those moments arise, how do you feel like you overcome and be able to stand in your head in those moments, make those amazing saves?
Yeah, really for me, it's once I step on the field, it's I don't think I play very emotionally. I think for me, it's just taking it action by action. That's what I'm always telling myself, action by action. And then, yeah, dealing with what I see, and not dwelling on anything and not thinking about what could happen, just seeing what's in front of me and responding accordingly.
Knowing that you have two enforcer type center backs in front of you in Griffin and Gee, does that make your job easier?
Yeah, for sure. They were massive tonight. And yeah, anytime anytime your defenders can play like that, you're gonna have a lot better chance as a team to be successful.
Yeah. Last question. You played against the team in the playoffs. How did it feel to get the reverse result against them and get the clean sheet?
Yeah, that was I guess third time out of what my 12 games has been against Omaha. So um, I'm used to playing them, I guess. So it was nice to finally get the 1-0 result in the right way, because that game still haunts us a little bit.
Yeah. Thank you.
Unseasonably cold evening tonight. How do you stay focused and limber out there with the action happening down the other end of the pitch in such a cold evening?
Yeah, I think one of the big things is talking, staying vocal, and even I think the boys don't always like it because sometimes they feel like I'm just talking to talk, but that's how I stay in the game, and that's how I can stay focused and still help them and give them information.
Late in the first half, they had a free kick over on this side here. You played it perfectly, leaving it to hit off the top of the bar. What's going through your mind during that shot?
Yeah, I kind of saw as he stepped up to the ball, and placed it that he was thinking about going for the shot, and yeah, what I liked about that is I was able to get the touch and I was able to get the goal kick. So yeah, I really liked that. It's always great when you can make a save and still get the goal kick. So like that.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay. 1-0 result tonight. Uh, 3 points here at home before you guys head on the road. Talk a little bit about what tonight was like from your perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a really big win for us. I don't think we beat them in 3 years. They're back-to-back champions, so it's a really big win for us. Gives us momentum going into Naples. Who's in first place? They're on a roll right now, so I think we're really excited and really confident going into that game.
Talk about your communication with the other three on your line, with the rest of the team, and with James to make something like tonight happen.
Yeah, I mean, we knew we had to talk a lot, especially talk to Dak because they're good at rotating off the front line. That's what coach was telling us the whole week. So me and Guy were really, we really made sure we nailed that part of our game down. The communication, it's really important, and I think it paid off.
You and Max were able to get into the attack a little bit. Talk about managing both that and keeping them off the board.
Yeah, I mean it was fun. I got to go forward a couple of times. You know, I dribbled a couple of times, but I had to get back. Couldn't score, unfortunately. But yeah, and then you know we just got to do our job defensively. I think we did that well today.
And then looking towards Saturday, what's that transition like for you, and how do you get in the right mindset and help the other guys get in the right mindset?
Yeah, I think we just got to take care of our bodies. We know it's gonna be a tough game, but we're all really excited. Get some warm weather, so that'll be good. Yeah, we just got to recover well.
Griffin, there's a lot of moments in the game where you play like an auxiliary right back.
Mm.
Can you just talk about how that progression, that part of your game has started to flourish, really come about?
Yeah, you know, I'm just always making sure I have Simon's back because we expect him to push high and defend, you know, their outside back. So I just have to be there to cover him when the time comes. Um, and I think, you know, I'm still learning that role, but me and him are definitely, you know, growing into that role and doing well together, I think.
How impressed do you feel with yourself when there's moments in the midfield where there's a bunch of Union Omaha players around you, and you're still holding on to the ball and getting fouls and winning those important duels against those kind of guys, like you said, like back-to-back league champions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's still stuff I can work on. Like when the guys post me up, I can still do better with it. But on the ball, I think today there were a couple times where I played center my whole life, so it's fun for me to get in there and sometimes try to keep the ball as best I can and go forward. So I really enjoy that part.
And how special is that relationship between you and James being back there? And
Yeah, I mean,
you guys grew up together playing.
exactly. I think it makes it, gives us both confidence knowing that we got someone who yeah, like you said, grew up playing together and both young guys. Yeah, so I think it just gives us confidence. We work well with each other.
All right. Okay. All right.
Cool.
Sweet.
Hey James, full 90 tonight, first start of the season, 1-0 win. Talk about tonight from your perspective and what's going through your head.
Yeah, it was nice to get the first start. The boys were excellent. We stuck to the game plan. Sometimes it wasn't pretty, but yeah, we stuck to the game plan and were able to execute what we needed to do. We came up with some good moments in the game, some good chances, but they're a good side. We know they're a good side. We made sure we had to kind of be solid defensively in order to come away with that win, and that's what we've done. I'm really proud of the boys. Guy had an excellent performance also coming in tough circumstances, and yeah, just really happy with the boys, and yeah, it was a great win.
You kind of showed up everywhere on the pitch tonight for us. Talk about playing with that flexibility. Saw a little bit of flexibility from everybody as all of you were moving around. Talk about what that was like.
Yeah, no, yeah, playing in the 8 roles is nice. I think it suits my game. Being able to help on defensive transition, but also get forward a bit. It was nice to get that goal in the start of the season, and it's given me some confidence to get forward. And help create some runs and create something along those channels, which is a bit different. So yeah, it's good. It's nice. Like I say, it's just good to get the 3 points. On to Saturday now. We've got to move forward quickly, recover, and yeah, get on to Saturday.
James, can you just talk about how you and Max, you guys had some veteran moments out there where how do you guys know when and how to slow the game down? Because it seemed like you was building up a bit of momentum. You and Max are constantly just slowing the game down and having those veteran moments.
Yeah, I guess just experience. We've played the game long enough now, especially growing up in the English system. These things you're taught from a pretty young age. It's nice. It's nice to be able to come out here, especially with the young guns we have, especially defensively. You kind of have to look around and use your experience head sometimes and see how players are feeling, you know what I mean? And know when the right time is, because sometimes it can be a detriment too. You've got to try and pick and choose your moments. And me and Max were able to kind of pick and choose when he was going to go down and when I could go down, and just kind of break up the play. That's why we do it. It's not sometimes super tactical, but it's just sometimes, they have a bit of momentum sometimes, and we have a few players who've been defending for a while, and it's kind of breaking up those moments is definitely frustrating for them. But hey, look, teams do it to us, right? We've had many games, especially last year, where teams would do it to us at home. So it's nice to be on the other side of that. And yeah, you kind of do what it takes us to win. That's the main goal.
Yeah, having that midfield trio of you, Chandler, and Dak. Can you just speak about like the strength of that unit and how imposing you guys looked at on the field tonight?
Yeah, Chandler and Dak are 2 great players. They made it very easy for me to come in last year and play with them too, especially near the end of the season. Dak's very experienced. We're the same age, and he's been through the game a lot. And it's just great to play with someone like that, where I think we're on the same page. I don't think we have to talk too much to each other. We kind of just know. And sometimes there's players you play with in those kind of situations, and you get on really well. And he's definitely one of them. And yeah, Chandler's work rate second to none. He's what he can do on the ball too is incredible. He's got a credible left foot. And I know sometimes, especially taking set pieces, just got to get it in the air and get it near him, and I know he's gonna have chances. So yeah, I really enjoy playing with them. I enjoy playing with Nils too. We have a great midfield core this year, and it makes it really exciting and it makes it really fun because we know if any of us need to step out, then the other person's going to be able to pick up the pieces and do really well.
Yeah. And last question. Darn it. There, man. I forgot the last question.
No.
Shifting gears a little bit of fun question. Did
Yeah.
you hear your introduction tonight, and do you like James Vaughn?
I did not hear it. No, I'm a little zone as soon as we get across that white line, but I've heard it a few times from people, and especially in the American accent, it kind of sounds okay. So I'll keep it. If that's what people want to do. That's how they're going to remember the name. Then happy days. But yeah, no, it's just good to get 3 points, and yeah, on to Saturday.
Oh, I remember the last question. Okay, so this is your second year here for the club. You seem a lot more settled.
Mhm.
How do you think that transition time of year one to now has improved your game and helped you get settled into League One?
Yeah, obviously I I played in the US for a long time and then went back home to play in England. And in England, it's a very different game. It's very different. And it takes a bit to kind of understand the American game again and get back into that. And yeah, like I said, we have a great group of lads this year that have made it really easy to settle in. And, it's just picking up some confidence. I think every player knows it's a confidence game, right? And it's nice to be able to have a bit of that and know, getting back into set piece and that kind of things. I took them as a kid and took them for a long time, and it's nice to kind of have that again. And yeah, it's just the boys here have helped me settle in really well, and I've tried to do the same with the new boys, and I think it shows now on the pitch. You can see the cohesion we have as a unit, not just individually.
Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, James.
Yeah.